Okay, I don't know when the last video stopped, so here I'm just showing you again. So I measure the mass of the filter paper. I place the filter paper in the funnel. Back in the funnel, I put some distilled water to make it wet so that the filter paper can stick to the bottom of the funnel really tight. And now I'm going to use a rubber stopper. This is a hollow one, and then connect them and place it into the flask. And so I'm using some clamp to make the flask to stand still, otherwise it may just fall down. And I use a piece of hose, connect the flask, and connect the neck of the faucet. So when I turn on the water here, this will create some vacuum. So the solution, the filtrate will go down to the flask, and the crystal will stay on the filter paper. So now let's come back here. So it's already more than 10 minutes. So I'm going to take this out from the water bath and put that on the bench, let it cool down. And also in the meantime, I have prepared the ice bath. So I'm going to wait until it cools down to the room temperature. Then we can place this into the ice bath. So the flask cools down, but I don't see any crystal coming out yet. So I'm just putting this in the ice bath and just wait to see if we can have some crystal coming out. So we can also scratch the inside of the flask and see if crystal can come out. So what we can do, have a piece of glass, storing rods, and kind of make sure it's clean. So we use some clean wipes to just clean it, and then scratch the side of the flask and then see if any crystal can come out. So yeah, I think, let me see, nothing comes out yet. So we can just kind of from time to time scratch the inside, and by doing this we can help the crystal to come out, but on the other side we may lose some product on the stirring rod. So okay, we'll keep waiting and we'll come back. Now we got a lot of crystals inside the flask. And we are going to add 50 milliliters of distilled water. Oh my goodness, is this water? Yes, not soap. That's good. Oh, is this soap? This looks like soap. Or someone put soap inside, see? So I'm not going to use this. Is the soap, not the distilled water. So this is water. Oops. So I'm measuring 50 milliliters distilled water. Transfer the distilled water in here, in the flask. Okay. And place this flask into the ice bath again. So we let it settle for a few minutes. Then we can transfer everything to the back of the funnel. We are going to separate the product from the filtrate. Okay, we'll come back. So I'm going to transfer this crystal into the funnel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on this water first. Okay, then there's some vacuum inside. Then I'm going to just stir this. Make sure you can see it. Okay, let me make this a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm transferring. Can you see the filtrate just come down through the filter paper really quick? Because we have some vacuum right in the system. So if I push the funnel down, I seal the system even better, so the filtration can be even faster. And I'm going to show you the crystal, the nice beautiful crystal on the filter paper. Can you see that, right? And the filtrate is in the flask. I still have quite some crystal staying here in the enamel flask, so I can put some distilled water in here to kind of rinse it out. Okay, so I'm using more distilled water to rinse the those crystals staying in the flask, and try to get them transfer as much as I can, so I can increase my percentage yield. I don't want to lose any crystals here in the flask. So I'm just trying, but still we are going to have a little bit left, which is fine. So I'm going to move forward. Okay, so let's see. So let's take a look at the crystal again. Okay, I think we are done with the filtration. So okay, so I'm going to remove the crystal, and then we are going to weigh the mass for the aspirin, so the product we produced. And then just keep in mind it's wet, it's not completely dry. So I'm using a piece of weighing bolt for the measurements, and I'm tearing it. So here are my product, right? So I'm going to use some spatula to get both filter paper. Oh, it's still wet. Okay, I think it's pretty wet here, but we cannot wait. So if we come back next week, imagine this can be much better, and you can still see some water inside. All right, so but we get some rough idea about how much this is. Okay, so you can take a recording about the raw mass of this product. It's way too high than what it's supposed to be, because it contains a lot of water in here. So then you can take a look at the crystal. It's very nice crystal over there. Okay. Now we take 3 test tube, test tube 1, 2, 3, and in each test tube about 0.5 milliliter, or I think it's about 1 milliliter of distilled water. And in test tube 1, I placed salicylic acid, the reactant we used, and test tube 2 is our product. Okay, I put a little bit of our product inside of test tube 2, And in test tube 3, it's just the water, the distilled water. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to place 1 drop of 1% ferric chloride in each test tube and see what's going on. Okay, can you see the difference? So if I place this outside, okay, maybe so now you can see the difference, right? So the test tube 1, 2, 3, when I add 1 drop of ferric chloride 1%, so this is the color of different test tube 1, 2, 3. I think that's it for our experiment 11.